part of this program today. Governor, we're so proud to have you on our campus. The community is thankful and appreciative of what you're doing and what the state of Texas has been able to do. It's wonderful hearing the wonderful comments from our panelists today, because they've all experienced Odessa College. Our goal, our stated goal, is to be the best community college in the United States. And it's great when you state that, because people hold you accountable when you say things like that. And we step up to the plate. We also want to be the best partners in the Permian Basin. So anyone who wants to try something or who wants to be creative or innovative, we welcome that. And we're able to do that because of our Board of Trustees. Gary Johnson, who's serving as our chair of the board, does a wonderful job and helps us tremendously. I also have to give a shout out to Muhammad, who you met and who gave the wonderful tour today. He was one of our co-employees of the year for Odessa College last year, and one of the best human beings that you could ever meet. Again, we're proud to have you here, proud of all the partnerships. Odessa College is doing great work, but we want to do more. We will always ask you for more money.
You don't ask, you don't get.
That's right. We ask them for more money as well, and because we want to be that experiment where you can look at us and others can say, wow, what is possible? What is possible? We train other colleges from across the United States, literally. Malcolm X College from Chicago has been here. We've trained colleges from Florida, California, Lone Star College in the state of Texas. We don't want to be the best so we can hold it in. We want to be the best so that we can share it. I'm the former chair of TAC. We work closely with them, and Mr. Martinez does great work for us, and we welcome his support and everything he does. The commission was wonderful. Brian Jones served on that commission as one of your representatives there, and he's here in the building, and he works at Odessa College. And we're excited about what we can do together, continuing to join hands with the state of Texas. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. How about you? Got any words to share?
What?
Do you want to say anything?
Just my OC experience.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So my OC experience has been amazing ever since the first day I started. All the professors, they greeted us. Everything I learned from welding was from Muhammad, from Gary, Collins, and yeah, it was just an amazing experience. All 4 years, and I'm just blessed to have this internship with Chris Connors.
Yeah. How are you better because of this experience?
They gave me, because of this internship, I'm getting more experience in the oil field, and I can put my skills to the test, and I can show it I can benefit drilling tools. And all the classes, they've helped me out there in the field. And I feel like I did learn a lot, and I put it to use.
That's great. And how old are you now?
I'm 18.
So you did all that?
Yes,
when you
sir.
were 18?
Yes, sir.
That's great. Well, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Listen, I want to say congratulations to Marco Solis as well as all the other students. I had the opportunity to get to meet here today. It's really inspiring to get to see some of the students here who are still in high school, others who are in the official program at Odessa College, who really are proud about working their way towards a good paying job. Let me say broadly, it's great to be back in Odessa, but really an honor to get to be here at Odessa College and learn more about what they are doing, about one of the most important issues that we're dealing with in the state of Texas, and that is to develop a high quality workforce. And you know, I really like the words that President Williams articulated about what their vision is. Their vision is for this college to be number one. You know, there's a saying that you live up to your expectations. And if your expectation is to be average, you'll live up to that. If your expectation is to be number one, you will work to live up to that. By my observation of what I have seen today, you can tell that Odessa College is living up to its expectation to be number one. They are executing on what needs to be executed to achieve the status of being number one. You know, the other phrase you use is you wanted to be, quote, that experiment. I would rephrase that. That may have been what you wanted to be, but you started out being that experiment, and I think you are now that role model for other colleges, whether it be in Texas or outside of Texas. And what Odessa College is doing is exactly what the state of Texas is focused on. And we have with us here today two of our legislative members who are leaders in the workforce area. You have Brooks Landgraf and Senator Kevin Sparks here, and we appreciate your service and your involvement in this area. As we work our way through the session, we will not conclude the session without doing even more to develop workforce here in the great state of Texas. And there's a very simple reason why. Workforce development is one of the most important needs we have in the state because the state is growing so prolifically through our economy. We have probably the fastest growing economy in America. The Texas economy now is a $2 trillion a year economy. That makes us the 9th largest economy in the entire world. Texas now has more Fortune 500 company headquarters in our state than any other state in the United States of America. In this last year, we added far more new jobs than any other state in the United States. We will remain number one so long as we continue to develop the workforce that our employers need. In Odessa College and other community colleges, as well as other workforce programs, many of which are represented here today, they are providing the training and education that is needed to prepare students like Marco for good paying jobs they have while they're still in high school, while they're working their way through college, and that they go directly into after they complete this program. You know, I want to quote Ariel here, who, as we were discussing earlier, he went through the automotive and diesel program. And he said something which may be the most important thing anybody can say that's been through this program. He said he's happy to be able to pursue what he wanted to. Think about the profoundness of what he was saying. There are a lot of people who go through the education process, and they have to learn whatever the college is teaching or whatever the high school is teaching, and they may or may not like what they're doing. They may not see the practical application of what they're doing. And so what Ariel got to do, he got to do what he wanted to do. And now he's earning a good living doing what he enjoys to do. So he can provide for his family. I have no idea if you have a family or not, but you know what? That means you have even more money to spend. And then what Seth said is equally important. He said the training that he got here directly affected his ability to be successful. And when you know what he does, it's even more important because what he does, he learned, or what he learned here, makes everybody safer on the job. When you look at some of the dangers that exist in some of our jobs, especially in, let's say, oil rigs, safety may be job number one. And to have professionals who are educated here who take that expertise and apply it into the field to make sure that everybody is safer, that's a win-win for absolutely everybody. And then what Mike said is very important. This is on the employer side. What employers need, they need students who graduate with skill sets that can be directly applied to high-demand job areas. They don't have the time or the luxury to go through the training process themselves. And what he said was a perfect sentence. He said, Odessa College has been a plug-and-play program for them. That means that the students who graduate from here come prepared with the skill sets that are needed to go directly into the job and start performing on the job on day one. That's what employers need. That's what they expect. And that's what Texas is doing to work with organizations like this so we can deliver for employers across the state. Our broad-based goal, all of us together, is this. We want to ensure that every Texan is prepared to succeed in the 21st century. And we, the state, we are investing in education and training programs like this to prepare young Texans for those jobs in high-demand industries like technology, healthcare, and energy. So last session, we worked and established on a reskilling and upskilling education program. It awarded $15 million in grants to bolster job training programs. We funded nearly 30 of those job training programs across the entire state, and including a grant right here to Odessa College. Students graduate from these programs, as I said earlier, prepared to go to work. I took a look and I saw that top jobs in the Odessa area that need skilled labor include medical tech, machinery, and obviously the oil and gas industry. This college is an example of how we match education and training to those good paying jobs. And take, for example, the classroom that we're in right here. Now, this is a welding tech classroom. Welders are literally indispensable in our society today and provide good paying jobs. Think about all the things that you see every day but may not realize the connection between what you see and what welders do. Think of buildings that you see around town. Think of the vehicle that you may drive in. Think of the airplanes that land at your airport. All of them have a welder involved in creating those products and far more than that. And the oil and gas in the Permian Basin would never even make it out of the ground if not for the skilled welders, mechanics, and engineers who are trained at places like Odessa College. I've seen firsthand how powerful this is. A few years ago, I got to know a young man named Justin Friend. And Justin Friend went through a welding program much like this, and I touted his success so much in the program that educated him, which is one of the Texas State Technical Colleges, and what TSTC does to educate students just like Odessa College does. And they liked it so much that I am now the possessor of an honorary welding degree myself. So I figure that's going to come in handy. If ever I stop being governor, I can go to a good paying job automatically. Bottom line is this. Texas is going to continue to work with not just Odessa College, but also similar community colleges and similar job training programs around the state to make sure that we have a workforce that will fill the millions of new jobs that will be coming available over just the next few years. And together we're going to build a state where every Texan has a chance to succeed. With that, we'll be happy to take a few questions. Go ahead. So I've remained in contact with ERCOT beginning days before the storm, all the way through the storm. And as far as the state power grid is concerned, the power grid hasn't failed at all. It's maintained a surplus of between 5,000 and 10,000 megawatts of surplus power available the entire time. That said, in Central Texas and maybe in Austin in particular, with heavy ice weighing down massive trees that are located there, massive trees and tree limbs have fallen on power lines, causing the power to be shut off to some people who live in the Austin area as well as some other areas. And there are crews working as we speak. And we use this opportunity to recognize someone, and that is we have with us someone from Encore, and Encore out here. But first of all, what they do here, they, among other things, they train linemen. And then on top of that, Encore from this region and other regions, they are sending linemen from those other regions to locations like Austin, Texas, to help out getting the power lines back up.
Amazing. And the other question I have, which is similar to what you just said, is how is your office kind of holding ERCOT, natural gas companies, coal, wind, solar, et cetera, accountable for the power grid and keeping them operational during the freezes that we're seeing?
So because of the 14 bipartisan laws that I signed after last session, It includes in it new tools and strategies for both the Public Utilities Commission and ERCOT to hold every sector of the power grid more accountable, making them subject to fines if they are not in compliance with what needs to be done. And that's exactly why through the cold snap that we went through in December right before Christmas, as well as this cold snap, whether it be the oil and gas produced at the wellhead, through the gathering and processing, through the transportation of the pipelines, to the power generating facilities. All of those have performed without fail because of the new strategies that we have in place that ensure that the power grid will remain functional regardless of weather. And I have to add this, the power grid actually is more challenged in the summertime than in the wintertime. This last summer, we set 11 new all-time power demand records with ease, without ever losing power. There was a day or two when Texas was producing more power than California and New York combined. Texas is the power generating leader of the United States. Go ahead.
You mentioned before that, you know, you were mentioning about how, the buildings you see, all of these different things that are made that people think about welders and stuff like that. You came here, you see these young men and women going through the process of getting all of this training and everything. How does it feel to when you were walking through here and you see basically the workforce of tomorrow, the next generation of workers, you know, as governor, how does it feel to see your states and people, you know, on the normal, like, you know, average civilian being able to rise up to a status like basically in that training?
So that's the goal of the state. I call Texas the land of opportunity. And the only way that it truly is the land of opportunity is if everybody has opportunity. Opportunity like what Ariel wanted that he got. But everyone, and some people find welding as the pathway of opportunity. Other people find it a different way. Another story is a woman I met who was going through an apprentice training program at S&B Engineers and Constructors just outside of Houston, Texas. She's an African-American woman, and 4 years before I met her, she was homeless, had no income, and she went through that apprenticeship program and got training like what students are getting in here. And 4 years later, she told me that she had gone from being homeless to being a homeowner. And I asked her how much she was making, and when she told me, I said, so 4 years ago, you were homeless, and now you're making more than the governor of Texas. And so it makes me proud to see Texans succeed because of platforms that are offered up by colleges like Odessa College.
And just one more thing, sir. Also, today's also Chris Kyle's Day, 10th anniversary as well. Any thoughts on that or anything in legislation to acknowledge that?
Well, so I, as governor, made an official declaration of this being Chris Kyle Day, and we honor him and men and women like him who have put their lives on the line for our country. America is the mightiest country in the world because we've had the mightiest military in the history of the world. And so today we honor Chris Kyle, but candidly every day we should honor the men and women who've worn the uniform to make America the greatest country in the history of the world. So it would actually, in a way, aid programs like this because, so you said charter school, to be clear on that. We've had charter schools for a long time. There you go. It's really, and vouchers are different than education savings accounts. But what education savings accounts do, they allow a student or the parents of a student to craft the education pathway that's best for that student. So just let's take Ariel, for example. As opposed to someone having to go through some four-year program at their local school that they may not have an interest in, it allows their parents to establish apprenticeship programs like what he was going through, or training programs like what Ariel went through. And so it allows everyone to choose the education pathway that's right for them. We need to understand a reality of life. When it comes to education, like everything else, one size does not fit all. There are students here at Odessa College that needed a size different than what some other students need. We need to provide platform for all of those students, making sure that we have an education pathway that's unique for each child in the state has shown in other states, and even in the state of Texas, it leads to better results, not just for those students, but better results for all of our public schools.
Two more questions. I guess.
Go for it.
You focus on the learning basic area and touting the success of Odessa College and all of that. Have you seen any other initiatives like this, just as with, that you plan on helping to emphasize in other parts of the state as well, besides the permanent basic?
Absolutely. So we happen to have with us someone who's kind of in charge of all that in a way. We have Ray Martinez, the president and CEO of the Texas Association of Community Colleges. So for one, we do this through community colleges. For another, we do it through Texas State Technical College. But also we do it through our high school programs. And so we are in the forefront of making sure that when students leave high school or when students leave a 2 or 4 year college program, they're going to be fully skilled and trained to go into whatever unique field. Let me give you a couple of examples, one of which will not apply to Odessa, and that is to go to East Texas. There's a lot of timber in East Texas, and we can prepare students to be prepared for the forestry or timber industry at the colleges in that area. But one thing that we have in every area of our state, and that is a greater need for trained or people trained in the healthcare arena. It's one thing that Odessa College does, but candidly, all community colleges do it. We have high demand in the healthcare field. And so whether it be Odessa or Longview or Laredo, we're going to have people trained for those good paying jobs that take care of people in the medical arena.
Last question.
Go for it.
Governor, I'm Stacey Brown, president of Odessa Regional Medical Center. Obviously, one of the things that weighs heavy on our mind is the nurse shortage. We've had it for decades, and it's only getting worse. We have an incredible nurse training program here at Odessa College, top notch. We have a new health science center being built here. But one of the limiting factors over the years has been faculty. And so would the state be willing to fund faculty positions for some of these critical programs that we all need for healthcare?
Sure. So it's a top-notch issue, and the good thing is all the leaders at the Capitol are completely aware of it. And so we're looking at programs such as incentives to incentivize people to be faculty. We have incentives like that that we use for residents of medical school, and so it may just be applying that type of program to those who would serve as educators in the nursing field. We know exactly what you're talking about, and that's one thing hindering our ability to train even more nurses is an inadequate supply of nursing educators. And we can't have more nurses without more nursing educators, and so we're working to achieve that goal.
Because we do turn students away, and so
Yeah.
it's devastating for that to happen. So we appreciate your support in that.
Sure. Well, of course that, but also very importantly, you've got two very important voices right here that will carry that message to Austin, Texas also in both the House and Senate chambers.